It is Wednesday. It is 7:30-ish on the internet broadcast system. That means it's time for the Axe and Arcana Fantasy Adventure game. Welcome to Season 2. Everybody, thank you for joining us. How's it going? Everybody, are you there? Oh no, where'd everybody go?
Hello?
You there? Oh no. Technical difficulties, of course. Gang, can you hear me?
Two.
Bado, are you there?
All right. Yep, I'm here.
Bado's there. All right.
Wait, is he breaking up or is it me?
So I just listened to the stream really fast and it sounds fine on the stream.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's super
Okay.
chopped up on the.
Yeah. Brian, you sound fine on the stream, but to us it sounded really
Mhm.
messed
Yeah, I
up.
can tell you're talking for me.
Super choppy and messed up. I can't hear it.
Can you hear me now? Let me close some windows. I'm going to close Chrome, the old power-hungry Chrome. Make sure my Adobe, always make sure your Adobe software is closed. That ruins everything. Let's minimize everything.
We're cool kids. We're doing great.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you guys now. Maybe. This is the worst.
Block Brian to the void, apparently.
I can hear. I heard Velvet. What is?
It's
Ben,
this.
you're the coolest.
It's this.
Hello, hello.
Shit.
What is going on? I closed my camera for you guys.
We're amateurs.
No, it's we're working with amateur software or hardware. What the French toast is going on?
As
As the sound.
Oh, shit.
Are we supposed to click on the fucking video? Wait, I can hear Brian.
Well, now
Everybody,
it's gray. Is it gray for you?
everybody
Yeah.
stop talking.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh.
Okay.
Chop, chop.
Chop, chop.
There's
Oh.
Brian, just make one continuously long sound.
Oh.
Oh.
So-
Whoa,
For that
time
entire.
delay. The time delay is crazy.
But you shouldn't be watching me on the stream. You should be watching me on Discord.
I am. I'm doing both.
Okay.
I don't see you on Discord at all.
So I turned my video off just to see if that's what was slowing everything down. And you can hear me better now?
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Life is good now.
So,
Okay.
let me
so
see.
watch you on the stream.
Well, hold on. I got one more trick up my sleeve. So, since we last played, I reconfigured everything. So I'm streaming from 2 machines now instead of 1 machine.
Oh, God.
And so this is the first D&D game I've played with this new setup. So it was working okay last night. It's sort of working now, but I guess with everybody on, let me make sure my
Season 2. Everything's changed.
everything's wrong.
Yeah. Like that. Could you hear us at all?
For a while I couldn't. No. So let me try this.
Oh, he can't hear us now.
I can hear you.
How do I find this on Twitch? I put in the Axe Arcana. I see the videos, but I want to see like a live.
Yeah, it looks good on Twitch.
Okay.
Oh, you watch the stream now.
I'd be.
Unbelievable. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm not sure what is going on here. Stream Deck.
Is it a broadcast system?
I'm a chair.
Why would you put your
Oh, my
face? Why would you
Shut
put
up.
your face where the butt goes?
I don't make the rules.
You just made the rule to make a chair out of yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
It could have been the back of the chair.
All right, I'm closing. There's other software on my
Yeah,
machine
baby.
that needs closing. Oh, god dang it. So I opened my stream instead of my video, so that should make it easier to see me. File, exit Creative Cloud. Thanks Adobe for hogging everything up on my machine.
Thanks, Adobe, for killing Flash.
Oh wow, too soon.
Did anybody see? Was there an internet meme? I feel like if there wasn't an internet meme where Adobe killed Flash like the character, then I would be disappointed.
I have not seen such a meme.
Yeah,
I'm
get
gonna
to work.
do it. Internet, here I come.
All right, so
Make your millions.
the stream looks okay. I'm gonna double check our stream real quick. You can hear me. Can you see my video if you click my name in
Yes.
Discord? And,
Yeah.
It's even updating at a reasonable rate.
all
Oh,
right.
It
Yeah.
says something at the top like projector output. Is that like visible for the stream or is
I'm
that...
gonna make. I don't think it's visible on the stream. I think this is the way I used to show you guys my stream. What I was just doing right now
The
was
stream does not show projector output.
cool.
Okay,
That is
cool.
correct.
I was trying something called a virtual webcam, and so I guess that doesn't work.
Not so virtual after all.
That's so like last night when I was talking to
Actual
you,
lies.
Trevor, that's what I was doing.
Hmm.
But okay.
Hmm.
So output projector, we've learned. Welcome everybody to the Axe and Arcana Season 2 fantasy adventure game. Thank you for your patience. Thank you guys for joining us again for the second season.
Huzzah!
Yay!
Hooray!
Zarg!
Um,
I mean, yeehaw!
yeehaw.
Okay. Just picked up an accident.
We'll do a real
We'll
quick.
get into that later, y'all.
We'll do a real quick recap of where we are. Zothok, our barbarian, has stepped away, so out of game. He's not playing with us this season. We'll see if he pops in. So we used to have two parties, a party of 4 and a party of 3, and now we've got a party of 6. Our Wark wizard had some work stuff to take care of, so they won't join us today, but it's all good. So let's get things started. In season 1 of Axe and Arcana, the wizard Barris Gromdar decided to assemble a group of heroes to help fight the growing darkness in the lands of Ambrosia.
Hey, it's us.
Yeah, it's you guys. So each of your parties started investigating what we came to know as the Cult of Whispers. Barris thought it was a dragon cult. It turned out they were serving another entity entirely named William Wisp, an old foe of Ambrosia and of Barris the wizard himself. This creature destroyed the old adventuring parties of this land, but they were able to banish him away. In investigating this cult of whispers, one of our parties was sent to the primeval realm of Crotara, where dinosaurs and undead alike roamed the lands in which an ancient lich was trapped. While they were navigating this world, the other party bore witness to Host Frang, a mind flayer type creature who came from the stars and basically kidnapped Barris and took off with him. The other party found Barris's old airship, chased Host Frang into the spine, and after a small scuffle in space with some other creatures, they were sent spiraling through the spine and landed also in Crotara, conveniently. Our two parties joined up, and with the help of a couple new friends, Leon and Bosch and Gorilla Red, They journeyed to an ancient lich's tomb in order to find a way home. Small encounter ensued. They drew the sword, the Dino Sword, a magical weapon that was keeping this ancient lich locked in space and time. They were able to defeat Death Wisp, which was an altered version of William Wisp that had been banished back to this realm. They were able to stop him, and they were able to get the Wark jammers and the airship, this ancient technology that had been lost to this realm. They were able to get this equipment working and jump back to Ambrosia, the realm from which they originated. Upon arriving Ambrosia, it quickly became apparent that something was wrong, and in their absence and in Barris's absence, William Wisp had somehow, in fact, returned. So that's where we left off. Upon seeing this evil had returned to the land, Torin, the dwarf who was in the party, made the choice to make a trek home to make sure that their homelands were safe and protected. Not wanting to go alone, he convinced Zothok, the half-orc, who was originally from Krotara, to join him on the quest. Zothok maybe was feeling a little guilty for having accidentally burned our wizard Velvet's brother to death, but that's a whole other story that we can get to on another time. So, 6 months after your return, the lands of Ambrosia are now under the control of William Wisp, this pumpkin beholder type creature who sits in the castles where the royal family used to be. Nobody really sees him. He's sort of all-consuming and all-taking, and the city kind of fell into despair and ruin, and we saw the rise of corruption and crime lords, and 4 major crime bosses sort of now control different facets of the city, different industries, if you will. So, on top of that, magic has been banished in the lands of Ambrosia, which is tricky for a couple of you. We've got some wizards in the party. And you've also noticed in your time that, let's see, oops, got to there we go. You've seen wanted posters with your names on them for aiding and abetting William Wisp's enemy, Barris Grelmdar. So you guys have gone into hiding. The airship Ark and your 4 Wark jammers have transformed into a sort of train-like vehicle that's constantly moving around the perimeters of Ambrosia using cloaking technology. So you're kind of always on the move, unsure what to do. You will stop occasionally to stretch your legs. Bado, the Loxodon cleric, will occasionally go into the woods to forage for stuff to eat. Waddle, our halfling monk, will often go into the city to also procure other goods. Being small and sort of quick, is able to stay out of eyesight for the most part. So we start as your train is stealthily sort of moving around the landscape, piloted by ID10T, the Wark that used to belong to Barris, along with Leon and Bosch, the Tortle and the lizard folk who are real good at repairing and fixing these technologies, and also your antagonist Kyrus, the one-eyed bandit from the Cult of Whispers. You guys saved him from Krotara and brought him back, and he's been kept in like a cage or a cell in one of the back cabins of this little train you guys have. And 6 months have passed, and you are just chugging along on this train, just trying to survive. And that is where we will open up. We'll recap everybody's characters real quick. Do you guys want to do your descriptions again? I'll go down the line. So, or I can do it too if you want. But we have Bado, the Loxodon cleric. You want to tell us about yourself, Bado?
Sure. Bado's grew up in a religious household. He's a cleric, of course. He spent a lot of time in the local army, basically as the medic cleric, but grew disillusioned with that life, like the following of orders, and nothing was actually achieved, and eventually wandered off on his own after a normal military career. Then he got his mysterious letter from Cerberus and joined up with his now comrades. And I imagined his is the god of perseverance and long suffering. So this would be 6 months of trial of we got to do something.
Perfect. I love it. After Bado, we move to Dusk, our tiefling bard. Hello, Dusk.
Howdy, folks. Dusk here, Dusk Whiteclaw. I was born privileged a long time ago when I was a young man, and I eventually, fell out of that. I started making some music of the metallic variety, and I joined up with this crew of varmints here, and we've been trekking around. And some time ago, I was touched by something, and now I sound like this. So
that is
that's just the way it is. I also seemingly have some fantastical new powers, and we're going to discover all of those things later on.
Where did the cowboy touch you?
on my noggin.
Has your interest in genre of music changed at all?
I still play metallic music.
Okay.
Just on the acoustical variety.
Perfect.
Excited about that.
The camera is like sweeping through the train as we meet our characters. So it'll push up to the front cabin of this, and you see ID10T, this like wash basin construct, pulling different levers and knobs, and looks at you and says, not now, busy, as ID10T is driving this train for you guys. Then the camera will push back to Velvet, the wizard, human wizard Velvet. Hello, Velvet.
Hey guys, my name's Velvet, and I come from a wizarding family known for their wealth and influence in the wizarding community, producing pigs and wigs from our pigs and wigs factory, where we would, of course, put wigs on pigs. I've always been a black sheep and kind of a rebel without a cause, because I was always overshadowed by my brother Valor. You know that kid, always popular, good grades, everyone really liked him. There was an explosion at our pigs and wigs factory one day, and my brother, along with an important artifact, the Ring of Red, disappeared. And long story short, he's dead, and now I'm here with no more flips to give, and nothing to prove to anyone. I don't answer to nobody, no how. And I put on my cool kid shades and kick my feet up on the seat and end the discussion.
The camera pushes back Velvet to our friend Waddle, the halfling monk. Hello, Waddle.
Hello. Not thrilled about going after Velvet, but I am a halfling monk and a bit of a wanderer. I've been stricken with the bug of wanderlust, and I seek adventure and all the pleasures that can be brought to me from such an adventure. So basically, I'm here to party.
Fantastic. Love it.
Party up.
So, yeah, our camera pushes down onto the Swark train that is parked on the outskirts of Ambrosia, sort of near a forest. Let me get this map. There we go. So, camera pulls down to the train that it's been sitting there for a minute. You guys are finishing up a break. You see Waddle making his way back in from a little trip into town with some goodies, just necessities for upkeep of the train. And Bado is coming in from the east from a thicket of forest where Bado was collecting reeds and mushrooms and stuff for you guys to eat. And we will pick up as both of those guys come to the parked Wark to start our game, to start season 2.
I found a decent haul today. What news do you have from our former home?
You asking
Good
me?
Waddle. Yep.
Oh, good. Well, pillaging was good. No, it wasn't.
Pillaging. Eyes widen.
No, it's grim there, man. It doesn't look too hot, and I see dark things on the horizon.
The ones that are always there, or new ones?
What?
Speaking of horizons, as William Wisp has sort of taken over the land, he's like a trans-dimensional creature with powers that kind of make you guys uncomfortable. And sometimes at night, you feel like you'll look looking.
Watching us sleep?
Just kind of like every once in a while the moon will turn like unnaturally yellow, and you feel like you see. It feels like you're being watched. You know, not in a general sense, not in a specific sense.
Did you make that eyeball move?
I did.
Hot damn.
It's a little high up on there, isn't it?
Yeah, those were the grim things on the.
Always been like that?
The moon just makes me want to sing a song sometimes. Looking at that dark moon.
You know, start fiddling a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start fiddling a song. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. The moon turns black and bathes us in darkness, and we feel fear as William Wisp is here.
Ooh.
Songs rhyme now.
Dick.
Seemingly, you know. I mean, I sing about all this dark stuff around us, but I still feel the sun coming up tomorrow and us having an all right time, us having an okay day. Perhaps this touch to my head might have changed my disposition to something a little finer, a little
cheerier,
a little happier.
An admirable quality.
You say so, Foghorn Leghorn.
I'm not
arguing. And I put my fingers to my lips and pretend like I'm pretending I'm smoking some cigarette. I blow out some smoke from my hands. Just
Oh,
from magic. I'm not supposed to. I do it anyway. 'Cause I'm cool now. Cool, I don't care.
um, let's see. Would Bado, Dusk, Velvet, and Waddle? Would you all make me a perception check? Just as a recap to our game, most of the things you do involve rolling a 20-sided die and adding the appropriate modifiers to it based on the stats on your character sheet.
Sick.
So I think is perception wisdom based?
Yep.
Yep.
Is
Yep.
that right? Yeah. So
Yep.
everybody roll me a d20 and give me your perception check.
19 plus 2, 21 for Dusk.
19 plus 4, 23 for Bado.
Ooh.
I see all, hear all.
Velvet
9 plus 2 for
11
Waddle.
for Waddle.
I think that's what it ends up to.
If you have
13 for
proficiency in it, I'm sorry.
13 for Velvet.
13. So we hit level 5 at the end of the last season. So up until now, your proficiency bonus was a +2. So now your proficiency bonuses are +3. So if you are proficient in a skill check or an attack, make sure that those numbers have increased proportionately by 1. But everybody, as Dusk was kind of strumming on his instrument, you notice some movement in the bag that Bado was carrying full of found edibles and stuff from the wild.
Is it a bag of children?
Found edibles.
Foraged goods.
You get a string breaks. A string breaks on my guitar. I'm like, found edibles.
That only happened once.
That whole incident in the anger room.
I ain't go near those again.
Somebody said childlike. Like, it almost looks like there's a child moving around in that bag.
I do not remember picking up anything that big. I will ready myself in case it decides to burst forth and hurt us.
We could just stab the bag and not even worry about it.
You would.
I got it right here. We'll just stab it.
Wait, don't stab the bag. I want to check
We
it
don't
out.
know yet.
So who's doing what?
I'm opening the bag.
You got to give it to Velvet. He
You
thinks
better
with
do
his
it
head.
before I stab it.
I'm gonna stand on the opposite side of the bag, so that when I open it, whatever is inside is not visible to me, but to everyone else.
All right. Did one of your parties had a bag of holding, correct? I feel like somebody had one. We're gonna say this is a bag.
Yes,
We're gonna
we
say this
did.
is a bag of holding. So Waddle gets to the other side of this bag and opens it up. So whatever is in it is facing the rest of the party, and you see a little green goblin head pop up.
Oh, gross.
Oh, what?
Hello, Gus.
I was so careful.
Yeah. So yeah, you see a goblin there. And he's for a second doesn't even notice anyone else is in the room. He just has like a mouth full of like berries and pears and stuff like that.
That was the good stuff too.
But at the sudden kind of like entrance of like the light into the bag, he sort of just looks up and he's got these big kind of like bulbous eyes, like a pug kind of, and he's just kind of this slightly looking a little off center. He sort of darts around the room. His eyes kind of dart around the room between all the people. You notice, like Brian said, he's a goblin. He's similar to any kind of goblin you've seen before. He's sort of a light green color, but this one's a little less filthy than the ones you're used to. A little less haggard and covered in scars. He's kind of young looking. and upon realizing he's surrounded by 3 rather large people and one about his size, he quickly kind of jumps up to his feet, still with like a pear in his mouth.
All right. How'd you get in there? That's how I would say, Bado.
He looks up at you and kind of spits out the pear, sort of realizing also that he's all inside this enclosed space, and like a scared rat, he doesn't know which way to run. He quickly like ducks to the ground and starts smelling it, like the metal ground, and like licking it, like one big wet lick. And he looks up at Bado and is like, oh, "Are we in Big Rumble Machine?"
Yes, we're in the big rumble machine.
Big? You go inside of it? No ground, no dirt.
Hey, buddy, that's all you. You got in the sack. What were you doing in there?
He turns back to like, you're not sure if he's about to scramble back into the sack, but he pulls out like a staff. You're not sure if it's a staff or just like a gnarled piece of tree branch. At first, it's all warped and kind of sickly looking. The top of it is like a ball, like a cancerous growth, but it has like little holes poked in it. It kind of rattles as he shakes it.
I feel like that would scream magic to everyone. I'm like, oh shit, he's got a stick.
Well, that looks like a magic object to me.
No magic. Nature. This place, not nature. Safer than nature.
Does anybody, Bado, you can make a knowledge nature check. Anybody can make a knowledge nature check if they want. Maybe a knowledge history check. If they want to maybe suss out some information maybe their characters would know.
Like, how did he get in the bag?
17 for. I mean, he's a goblin, but he's not exactly like other goblins we've seen.
So you look at his staff and kind of what he's wearing, and then you piece together. You know you're in the region of a druid enclave called Willowheart.
Mm.
And so it's not necessarily part of the. It's in Ambrosia, but it's not. It's. So that little connection kind of hits you.
I wonder aloud, or Bado wonders aloud, did I get too close to Willowheart? And I'm thinking, trying to remember, like, where were they supposed to be? Where are we right now? Crap. Hope I haven't angered anybody.
At the sound of the name, Gus kind of like looks over at you and is just like, "Well, you're from Willowheart, no?"
No, little buddy, we're not from Willowheart.
You no people come talk to you, no from Willowheart.
Wait, say that again?
What you have you seen anyone from Willowheart?
I don't think I have.
Only you, I suppose.
With that, he
I
kind
have
of breathed
now.
a sigh. He breathed a sigh of relief and he's like, "Oh, good. Me go with you then."
So what's going on in Willowheart?
Oh, nothing out of ordinary.
Are there people? Are there folks in trouble? Is there treasure to be had?
Probably, but no.
Can I roll to see if to weigh what he's saying against insight?
Absolutely, 100% you can.
Sweet. I just want to find if his intentions are true.
Yeah.
So it's 10, and I have a +5.
15. It seems pretty sincere about what he's saying. You may have heard of Willowheart in the passing, but it's one of those like they keep to themselves, so you know you don't know a whole lot about it. So for all you know, yeah, it seems like he's being honest. You hear ID10T from the front, like, "What's your name, little buddy?"
That is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, you see like this mechanical thing. It's top twist and it has this metal eye stalk and all this unnatural stuff. It makes you a little uncomfortable and it sort of vibrates. You don't see any lips move, but you can hear it. Don't be afraid.
I don't like a lot of things about what you just said. Lips and vibrations.
Yeah, at the sound of that, Gus literally leaps like 20 feet. It ducks behind like Bado's thick like leg trunk.
Yeah.
And for the first time, you also notice what you thought was a small hat on his head kind of perks up, and it is noticeable now that it is not a small hat, but an actual mushroom that you at first you can't tell if it's just sitting there, but you quickly, I guess maybe Bado's close enough since I'm hiding behind you, notice that it is physically growing out of my head.
Hmm.
And
Curious.
it kind of moves when I'm alert, like it peeks up, it kind of almost like an ear of like a dog, you know, it kind of perks up.
Go ahead.
Rose.
So your little mushroom cap sort of pokes up, and you do that. You're sort of alerted by the situation, and then you feel you're like what 3 foot tall, little short.
Yeah, I think exactly 3 feet. Yeah.
As you're kind of hiding behind Bado's leg, you feel a presence of another small creature behind you. You know, that kind of feeling like somebody's watching you.
Okay.
And then you start to feel, you know, like when a dog or a cat starts sniffing you and you can feel the... you feel that. You feel something sniffing around your mushroom cap.
Okay.
And upon turning around, you see this creature. It's not quite a rat. It's not quite a pterodactyl. It's some sort of mishmash of these things. It looks like a pet of some sort, and it's like sniffing around your mushroom cap, and then it starts like smelling your clothes, winding its little nostrils, trying to pick up all the scents of the forest that's on you. You're not sure if it's cute or if it's frightening or a little bit of both.
Yeah, I'm a little wary of, even though I'm a druid, I'm very wary around animals since I'm so small. Many have tried to eat me. So,
as a druid, you can make me a knowledge nature check.
yeah.
It's intelligence, so it'll be D20 plus. I'm assuming if you're proficient in nature.
Yeah, it said on my character sheet I got +3.
So it'd be +3 plus your intelligence modifier to whatever you roll.
Oh, okay. It's just a 9.
Okay.
In total.
You can't place what kind of creature this is, but something feels unnatural about it. Like this is not from your woods.
Yeah. I kind of smell it back a little bit. It's like two dogs meeting.
So you're sniffing each other, and then from the back, like a back door of a cabin opens up, and you hear, "Oh, hey man, who's this little guy right here?" And you see a chameleon lizard folk walk in, and behind him a turtle, a giant turtle man, turtle person. And he's kind of looking at you. And he's like, ID10T, we're all good. I got those repairs done to the anger room. What's up, little guy? How's it going? My name's Leon, man. And this lizard reaches out his little 3-fingered chameleon hand to shake your hand.
I kind of pull back, like recoil a little bit, like a dog. Still, like so many things are happening, kind of scared. But then you can kind of see little gears working. He's sort of remembering, sort of manners, I guess. And so You see the goblin suddenly kind of like straighten up in this sort of practiced, like over rehearsed way, kind of reaches his hand out like super straight, and like really lightly kind of grabs one finger on this guy and shakes it.
Nice to meet you. This is Bosch, and I'm Leon. Don't mind the pterodactyl, man. And he reaches down and picks up the little pet and hands it to Bosch the turtle. And it's still trying to kind of sniff at you. And then as soon as Bosch picks it up, it starts sniffing on Bosch.
Okay. I just say like oh, nice to meet you. My name's Grungus, and I'm Goblin.
Scrungus, nice to meet you. It's been a while since I've known goblins, man.
Oh, and I said, and I suddenly remember like, oh, and this, and points to the mushroom. This is Hat.
Hat, nice to meet you. And he goes to try to shake the hat's hand before realizing that's not how hats work.
Yeah, kind of moves back, and I just say, Hat says hi.
So Leon looks to ID10T in the front, and he's like, "Yeah, we got the cage for the Kairos, man. It's all locked up. He's not gonna try to escape again, man. Bosch and I are gonna step outside and stretch our legs before we get going again. Excuse me, little guy." And so they step on outside of the whark to go relieve themselves and stretch a little bit. And you see the cabin doors kind of close behind him, and in the distance you see a figure in a cage, sort of sitting on the ground with a cloak. And you really can't make too much of it out as the doors shut again.
Handshake. Well, now I just feel rude. Well, have you? Sorry. Who? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say I was going to walk up to the goblin and look at him, and I ask him if I lick that mushroom, will it get me high?
Gus considers it for a minute. This one. But he like runs back to the bag of holding and pulls out his own bag, kind of patched together, like maybe like a child's backpack at one point or something like that. And it just like clatters and clangs and stuff as he looks around in it. But he says like, but maybe some other ones.
Ooh, the good ones.
The good one, yeah. Can I have a couple?
No for eating.
Just for licking?
For help.
For lick.
I was going to ask Gus that, like, if you're from Willowheart, you're the first person we've seen from Willowheart since all this stuff went down. Tell me, what is the effect of William Wisp at your home?
William Wisp, that name of Big Eye Moon?
Yup.
Yes.
That would be the one.
Hear many hushed conversations amongst the elders about it, but Gus not allowed into the chambers during those times. Gus mostly just help, just clean, but given charge of the spore caves underneath Willowheart. Yes, they speak of him too, but they don't know his name. They just say Bad Moon.
Bad Moon indeed.
Bad Moon Rising.
Yes, no other people travel outside forest very far. Not allowed to talk to people from city.
And yet here you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes, here I am. No really allowed back in Willowheart right now, but they're lost.
Fair enough.
Your big metal rumbling machine. Knew it coming from long ways off. You think very sneaky, but mushrooms go deep underground, feel vibration for miles. They know you there. They tell me where to go.
We are many feet off the ground, my little friend.
So that's why I hate it here.
You
Like,
get
are there
the-
any windows or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, there's some ways you can see out. Dusk, you do feel like so. You guys had immovable rods that powered your warks. So Leon and Bosch have sort of retrofitted this thing to have little hands underneath, and it sort of shoots the rods out and then pulls themselves towards it. So it's constantly building and destroying this magical track underneath it. And it doesn't touch the ground, but there's probably a rumble in the wake that would be noticeable on the floor, on the ground. So you're both right.
Everybody wins.
You hear a voice from in the back. What's that? Somebody saying something?
Nope.
No. He's
Nope.
gonna find you.
Nope.
Um,
Is that
Otto rolls his
Biden?
eyes. I assume we've heard this before.
That's correct. Waddle, were you asking? Or Waddle or Velvet?
Yeah.
I'm getting like the
no.
last half of sentences, so I can't tell who's talking.
Oh, he's just going on again like he always does. Pay no mind.
Who's your little friend?
I kind of like peek in the hall and be like, "Ooh, you keep men in cages? You take people?"
Anybody want to take that?
So just like you guys, I don't know.
I mean, if they're just being royal dicks about everything.
ID 10, he turns around. He tried to kill us. For some reason, we saved him.
So you don't take him to eat him?
We don't eat. Yeah, we don't eat him.
And I don't eat.
And our metal friend here, he doesn't eat at all.
Yeah, was it who picked up?
I think you understood me the first time.
Who picked him up? Was it Velvet? Did you pick him up, or
No one picked
Oren did.
him up.
Pick you up.
So we'll have a flashback to the end of the last season. You guys were in Azrael's Anchor, this ancient lich sort of imprisonment. When you had your encounter with the Death Wisp, the undead version.
Oh yeah, that was me that saved him. The dwarf.
Torin. Okay.
Yeah.
As you guys were leaving and this place was going to seal forever with Gorilla Red in, Torin the dwarf picked up the unconscious Kyrus and brought him back with you guys.
See you later.
Yeah, so Torin. Thank you, Torin. I did not get to finish our last episode before jumping back on to catch up. So Kyrus has been sitting back there for 6 months, sort of muttering to himself and just kind of being shitty. I think there was a season of Walking Dead that I stopped watching where they kept dude with the baseball bat in a cage. They're
Glenn.
no
Constant source of negativity.
Yeah, Negan negativity. Yeah, so he's always kind of being shitty, but you guys don't find it in your heart to harm him. What you've gleaned from him is he was one of 3 people that were contracted to join the Cult of Whispers. Him, Saja Flame, and Velour were all approached by somebody named Drake Dragonstorm.
Oh, that's such a cool name.
Yeah.
And you've not gotten much else out of him. You know, Velour passed away, and Saja Flame survived their encounter and has sort of shown up time and again with the the party that had stayed in town for a while, but you've not really made sight of her since. So for everybody keeping track, Cult of Whispers, Saja Flame, Kyrus, and Velour under Drake Dragonstorm's orders.
I mean, maybe we can. So Torin's gone, but did we ever find anything else out about Drake? Stupid name, Drake Dragonstorm. Not as good as Dusk Whiteclaw. Let me just tell you that. Did we? I mean, we didn't pump this guy for any information just yet. We've just been kind of keeping him in this cage for no apparent reason.
Yeah, you have not. So now, as you guys have sort of like re-established yourselves and figured out who you are, now you can decide what your next steps in this world are. William Wisp controls the city. That's under 4 crime bosses. You've got this prisoner who belonged to the Cult of Whispers. Your friend Barris the Wizard is still lost somewhere in the stars. And you've occasionally heard mention of like there's some sort of like weirdness, something fell, something weird is happening off in the woods surrounding Ambrosia. And it is up to you guys to decide what you think you would do, where you would go, what information you want to try to get. We're kind of sandboxing it a little bit this season. I've got different plots in different places. You guys decide the threads you want to pull. This game, everybody watching, we're going to be playing every other week for the most part. So we'll probably play replays the following week. But if the party ever splits up, we can do simultaneous games every week, or, I'm real open to being flexible where the story goes. You guys have mysteries abound in front of you. It's just your decision on which you want to go after first, or in what order, or however you want to go. So yeah, what do you feel driven to find out?
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can.
Okay, I've been totally disconnected for like the last 6 or 7 minutes. I don't know if y'all noticed, but like I had to restart my internet and everything, so I have absolutely no idea what happened in the last 5 to 6.
Oh no!
We did a little
Like
recap.
Brian actually texted you. You didn't get my text. Like my internet just went down.
I saw it. I was not able to respond to it. We just did a quick recap.
Quick explanation of all of our options from here on out, dictating the rest of our careers, lives, adventures.
For this season, anyway. Last season, sort of like I knew it was going to end at Azrael's Anchor. This season,
One really important test in high school.
do what?
It's like that really important test in high school you forgot to study for, and it's going to dictate your entire life.
You'll be fine. Everybody's always fine anyway.
I'll just do whatever Waddle does.
So, real quick, Velvet, just so you didn't miss out, City of Ambrosia is under William Wisp's control. The city's basically under the hands of 4 crime bosses. Barris Gromdar, your wizard friend, is lost in the Spime in space somewhere, and something evil is afoot in the woods. You guys have a prisoner, Kyrus, the guy who was part of the cult that your brother Velour joined before he died, and they were under their boss, Drake Dragonstorm.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I tuned out for a second. I guess I actually did sneak up on Gus and lick that mushroom and kind of went somewhere else for a second. So, thanks for that recap.
Yeah. So Dusk was asking if you guys had gotten any information out of Kyrus, and you really have not. So if that is a thing you would like to do, you're welcome to do it. If you want to get the ARC train going again, ID Denti will start it up. If you guys want to venture into the woods, we can do that. If you want to venture into Ambrosia, we can do that. If you got something else entirely, we can do that.
Okay.
The fact that we're already in the forest, the periphery around Ambrosia, and that we've gathered that there's something out here that seems ripe for investigation, or at least figuring out whether it's harmful or helpful.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, a little investigating and maybe in the outdoor.
I would also go out into the woods. I'm ready to flip some junk upside down, tear it up.
Yeah.
Another real quick recap of stuff. As you guys, when you were in Azrael's Anchor, this lich that was locked in space and time, when you pulled the dino sword up briefly, you unlocked time but not space. So this lich is still trapped in its tomb, but that time merged with the current time. So as you guys have returned and you've sort of seen the city from a distance, Waddle has seen in person, you've noticed Wark technology incorporating itself into the world around you. And since magic's illegal, people have started resorting to Wark tech to do the things that magic used to do. People will augment themselves with Wark hands or like eye sockets or legs, either as a prosthetic or as ways to sort of increase who they are. People call them amalgams. That's sort of like a nickname for them, or augments, augies, if you want to call them that.
I do.
So it's technology that looks similar like your stuff, but maybe a little more refined, because it's sort of had time to refine itself versus this technology being its own. Just a real quick little data point there for you too. So it sounded like you guys were interested in maybe heading into the wood.
Mm-hmm. Because that's where we're at, like, in general, as we've been cruising, we've been circling and staying mobile so that we don't get discovered. But there's something out here with us. Maybe somebody else.
Gus, so you hear them talking about maybe checking out these woods from which you came. How does that make you feel? Think?
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting there, not really trying to make a decision because I'm kind of new, but I'm just like still chewing on a pear. Better if travel farther, but woods dangerous here.
I guess I didn't know that we were talking about Gus's home.
Not
I
home.
mean, neither did I. I was just as ignorant as you are.
Gus no have home no more, but Willowheart's still very far from here. These woods very big. Gus prefer not to go deep in them by himself. Many things too big. Eat Gus.
Fair enough. That's why we're together.
We're together? He kind of hugs you a little bit.
I meant the group. You're you're new.
I look at Otto. Little fella's taking a shining to you.
Oh, your family. You married.
There's the Belcher.
I give him a little nudge with my elbow.
I just turn around and hug Gus too. So I don't know what to do.
All right.
Downright
Adorable.
Downright adorable. Say little Scrungus. Scrungus, right?
Yes. You
May
call
I
me
call
Gus
you?
if
May I
you'd
call
like.
you Gus?
Yes, please.
Does that little mushroom on your head have any kind of, magical properties of any sort?
Oh, never thought of it as magic. That just talks to me. Tells me things. Can help me talk to other plants.
Helps you talk to plants.
Mm-hmm. And fungus type of plant. Fungus favorite type of plant.
That is quite an ability, my little man.
Interesting.
I've been
Walk up
sitting
and try
here.
to lick it.
I've been staring out the window the whole time, just kind of watching the train go by, like the scenery go by and stuff. And I'm just kind of brooding
You guys
to
haven't
myself.
started yet. The train hasn't started back up yet.
Oh,
so you can brood looking out into the distance. So just
yeah,
to paint
that
that.
staring up at the moon.
So the moon
And
this night, the moon maybe doesn't necessarily have William Wisp's visage on it. Just back up. No, okay, yeah. So Waddle, you're staring out this window. Why don't you make me a perception check?
okay. 16 plus 2.
So you're kind of sitting there and you're looking out. You hear them talking, and then the droning sort of melds together, and then you see some sort of movement out in the woods, and you're like interested by it, trying to figure out what it is, and it looks, it's not wind, but it's not water, and it looks like this low writhing mass sort of moving on the ground. And then you start to realize it's like insects, and there's this mass, almost like migration of tiny insects sort of moving out from the woods in your direction. Your warp train is sort of hovering above the ground by a few feet, and there's like a stairwell down. And it's just like, it's like the ground's moving, but you see tons of little insects and creatures like fleeing the woods.
Whoa. So are Bosch and Leon still outside?
They've just stepped in, and they're talking to ID10T at the front. They're sort of like going over the console panel.
Well, hey everybody! Did you get a look at those? What are those insects? What are those?
What's happening? What's
Uh-oh.
going on?
So Waddle calls
Can
your
I roll?
attention to the window, and you see what he's talking about. What would you like to do, Bado?
I was gonna roll nature or something to try and identify.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that.
18.
Gus, I feel like if you wanted to too.
Yeah. Yeah. 14.
14. Okay. Bado, there's this flood of insects coming out that seems like a migration pattern, but there's different kinds of creatures, right? It's not all butterflies or stick bugs. It's all sorts of creatures coming out. Scrungus, you feel like you've heard about this happening once in a while when something bad, you've maybe heard talk of something bad out in the woods outside of Willowheart.
Mm-hmm.
And this, you felt like you've heard about it before, but maybe you've never experienced it, encountered it. Maybe you weren't sure if it was true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we like.
Where are they all going?
They running from or running to?
A good question.
How do you think you would determine that? So you guys are inside the train.
Didn't you mention new friend Gus? New friend, huh? Who's totally willing to help us. Didn't you mention that you could communicate with animals or plants or nature or some such?
Gus no good with animals. Can't talk to them. Can't speak with plants.
There's plenty of plants around if that's what you would like to do.
Yeah, we could try. I could try go down to ground, talk to something. Are there like too many bugs? Like, can I like get around them, or are they like already passed?
So if you step down, it's one of those. You're not sure you can step on the ground without crushing them. I'm not sure what your druidic. Maybe as a druid you can step and they'll avoid your footsteps. But you're not sure that would do that for anybody else.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try really delicately, like putting a toe down first.
Yeah, you tip your little goblin toe and they like move around it, recognizing the presence of a druid.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna walk like just, I guess like it's like I assume it's a little like muddy where I'm at, but I'm gonna walk a few feet to get to like the closest shrub or
Okay.
something. Like,
You're using
And,
Speak with Plants as the ability you have?
yeah, I did on my spell sheet have a 3rd level spell, Speak with Plants. I limit a plant with limited sentience. Limited sentience.
You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances. Oh, you can turn difficult terrain caused by plants into ordinary terrain. That's neat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're gonna... Scrungus
Really cool.
steps out through the mud, through these bugs, and... How's this spell work? Are you like, you're waking the brush up? Are you...
I
How do
imagine
you-
I kind of just like reach my hands like into the tree and sort of into the not tree like a shrub or whatever it is, and just kind of close my eyes, and it sort of glows a little bit. I can kind of hear it, but other people can't. Maybe it sounds a little like kind of chimes in my head when I'm talking to it. Not really language, but I kind of understand it as language.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you'll see like a patch of berries sort of sprout where some eyes would be, and some branches start to like flitter and shake and make different tones of leaves and branches hitting.
Yeah.
And more or less it says, "Hello, am shrub."
Hello, shrub. Tell me, why bugs run? Or maybe better question, are bugs running from something?
Bugs flee. Bugs flee.
What could scare bugs? So many bugs.
Not nature. Not nature.
Not nature. Not our not Rumble Machine. That's not nature, but they come from past that. Do you know how far?
How far? Not far. Not far. Part rumble.
Heart Rumble. Ah. Okay, not too sure what else to ask it now. Just
How you?
good. Make new friends.
Good, good.
They don't sound like they're gonna eat me, but I mean, I got my eye on one with horns.
Good, good. What's up? Somebody said,
No, just so I take it that plant, kind of. I'm guessing from what you were talking to that plant. It sounds like there's something big and rumbly coming our way. Perhaps, hey Waddle, you wanna get Leon and Bosch to fire up the old war chamber for us?
Sure, I'll go put a prod to them.
Just let them know we let them know that trouble might be moseying.
That building's high.
Yeah, let me just get up there.
what did Velvet say?
Wa-
Oh, I can't hear you,
Yeah,
Velvet.
can't hear you,
Good
Velvet.
night.
Closer to the mic, please.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear
Now,
you.
Okay, all I said was tell Velvet said hi. That was all.
You see like a little shrubby hand. You can't tell if it's blowing in the wind, but then it like yeah. So Waddle, you're gonna go talk to Leon and Bosch.
Yeah, I dash up to the front real quick.
They're like, hey man, what's going on? Yeah, how's it going, man?
Hey guys, there's a whole swarm of bugs back here, and from what I can tell from Gus, we are in some big doo doo. We need to get this show on the road.
Leon's kind of looking at. There's like a console with like a pseudo radar, and he's like, well, that's weird, man. There's not supposed to be any. I'm getting like Wark Tech signals out in those woods, man. That's kind of weird. What's bugs, you say? No, bugs aren't Wark Tech, man. That's so weird, man. And so they're sitting there like they heard what you said, but they're not firing the machine up. They're trying to process these thoughts in the way they do.
Scratching their ass.
Everybody who's looking outside can make me a perception check.
I will look outside, so I will. Oh, that's a 1. I just rolled a 1.
18 and 4 is 22. Perceive the shit out of that thing.
Dusk is looking at a mirror.
I still look great. As always. Always have, always will.
Bado had a pretty slick roll. Did anybody else take a look?
I rolled a 11.
Rolled a 13.
Okay. So Gus, you're on the ground and you're kind of, everybody else I imagine is basically in the train. Maybe Bado's kind of stepping on the steps, staring out as to not get bugs on their feet, and the rest of you are looking out a window. Gus, you feel like just a slight tremor, but not a constant tremor like the train when it passes, like a footstep in the distance. Velvet, you rolled a 13, so you kind of look off into the distance and you see like the shrubs move, the bushes off in the distance moving just a little bit, like somebody's out there. Bado, you kind of lean in and you're trying to get a closer look, and you start to see like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a figure start to become visible in the distance, like the silhouette of something, and it steps and it's got a little bit of a shamble. And it steps and it's got a little bit of a shamble. And you're trying to focus on...
sense is tingling.
You feel that, but then you look and you're like, well, there's something about it that's not quite right. And it shambles a little more into the light. And you realize it is... I'm going to hold up to my camera. It looks like undead that has merged with Wark Tech.
Oh God.
Oh goodness.
So it looks like a zombie or a skeleton or a ghoul of some sort that's like kind of decked out in this unnatural mechanical suit sort of thing, and it's takes another step and you realize like these bugs are fleeing from this. And it's real slow, right? Just taking real solid steps, but not making much room as it's sort of shaking in between it. Think of like a creepy old animatronic, right? Like it doesn't have a bearing on anything, but it's sort of just moving with a little purpose.
It's undead. That's a reason enough for me to kill it. How far away is it? Like a couple 100 feet or something?
Something like that. Yeah, in the thicket. So you don't have like a clear shot of it, but you're able to start making out the details of it. Excuse me.
How much bigger or smaller than us is the thing?
It looks
I
vague.
guess
Go ahead.
then the jammer that we're in.
So it looks about your size. So when you guys were in Krotara in season 1, the only wark you knew was ID 10T, and then you met a creature named ID Apex, and it was more humanoid, bipedal,
Right.
and you saw evidence that that's what the majority of warks looked like. Your ships are called wark jammers, so a jammer is like the big ship sort of thing, like the Zords.
Right.
Wark means bulwark. These things were constructed as a defense in case Azrael ever got out. You learned in season 1. Now, since these realms have merged and you've seen the rise of wark technology, you haven't really seen many warks in as you've been kind of fleeing. So this is sort of the first one you've seen since you've been back. But back then they were all wark creatures, and this looks like it's like a mixture of things.
Yeah, the works in the olden times were actually like defenders, like potential allies.
Correct. Yes.
In that case, I'll call out, or Bado will call out uh, to the shambling thing that's heading towards us, with the understanding that this might not go well.
What are you calling out?
Ho there, generic.
Okay, so Bado's gonna call out. Gus, you feel uneasy about this.
Yeah, and I come walking back to the group from the other direction where I was talking, just kind of eating one of the bugs casually. Just like, what are we looking at?
You turn and you see this thing I described, and it makes you uncomfortable on multiple levels.
Yeah.
If you get my drift.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Velvet
Not of nature, out of cycle.
Velvet, were you saying something?
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Waddle? Is Waddle there?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
So I'm kind of put out with Leon and Bosch and just trying to like get them to get the show on the road and like get moving.
Yeah.
So I'm coming back down the train. And I'm just kind of like prepping myself for like the worst case scenario. Kind of like rolling up my sleeves and
Okay.
kind of observing the situation.
You're making your way
Is
back.
that what's happening?
What's that?
You're taking a long time? Is that what's happening?
Velvet, I can't hear you, man.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, let me get right up to me.
Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. You said they're taking a long time? They're being too slow?
They seem to
Waddle?
be analyzing something on the screen, and Waddle seems fed up with it.
Okay. I see. Never mind. What should we do?
So Bado calls out to this thing, and it like stops in its tracks with this heavy footprint, and its head slowly pans up and looks, and you see some lights flash red in one of its eye sockets, and it looks like it's sort of scanning the area.
I mentioned to the side to Gus, like, I know that looks bad, but they're all like that. Trust me, we still don't know. Friend or foe.
Yeah. I've like kind of spit out the bug and like have my staff and it's like, no, it's bad. It's bad, not good.
Bado says it's not bad. Gus says it's bad. And then its red light sort of like makes focus onto you. And then you notice in the woods behind it, a couple red lights start to light up in the distance. Sets of 2, sets of 3, sets of 1. And it looks like in the forest, red eyes popping up as this thing has like made a lock on you guys.
That's not a good sign.
That's pretty bad. Pretty sure that's pretty bad.
That's
Let's see if we
downright
can get this thing going.
Would you say, Dusk?
So that's downright terrifying.
Velvet, were you trying to go talk to? You were trying to talk to Leon and Bosch.
Well, I was wondering if I should go in there and cast haste on them, if that would get them moving faster and getting the ship going faster.
Yeah, you could do that.
A new. Well, then that's what I'm gonna just angrily walk right up into the room that they're in, and say, "You guys need to hurry this up. We got to get out of here." And I haste on them.
All
And
right.
it's and the room starts to sort of sparkle and glitter as I cast it.
ID Denty's like, I like when he does this. So you cast haste, and you see Bosch like sort of perk up from his normally sort of slow, meaningful turtle movements, and he starts like pushing levers and pulling stuff. And Leon looks at you and he's like, hey man, that was real nice of you to do, but this is weird, man. The Wark signatures we were getting, it wasn't coming from them after all, man. There's something to the south of us approaching quick, man. And you look down on the screen and you see, in fact, that something seems to be approaching. These things are coming from the woods in the east. Something is lighting up, pinging on your radar on the south, just at the bottom of the screen. As you start to feel the arc start to warm up, you feel the currents of Arcana and Spime infusing it as it starts to rumble, as it starts warming up. So it'll take a couple minutes before it's ready to take off. As you see this array of lights out in the woods, this fleeing bugs beneath you, and something south of you seems to be maybe on its way. Who's not gone in a minute? Waddle or Dusk?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Okay. Let's
Do we call it a distraction? Like what can we do in this situation?
Waddle's monk, sort of acrobatic. So Bosch installed like a ladder and monkey bars up to the top of the Wark, so you can climb up on a top hatch.
I guess that's. I wanted to try and get a better view. That was kind of gonna be my call. So, it's a train. No. Okay, let me go as high up, and just try and I don't know, look for what's coming from the south if I can.
So Dusk is going to climb up top hatch to get a better view. Well, Waddle, you're going to go with, if that's cool.
Yeah, man.
You'll climb up. You like climbing.
I was going to suggest it.
You guys can make me perception checks to see what's coming from the south. Gus, did you jump back into the train?
Yeah, I'm back on the train.
I
said bye to the shrub.
I rolled a 19.
Waddle, go
I
ahead.
rolled 14 plus 2, so 16.
16, very good. So you look and you see off in the distance some small dots, like 4 of them, moving in an unnatural way. So like something's approaching you, but you can't quite make out what the shapes are yet. But it does seem to be slowly making an approach on you.
What kind of scale are we talking? Like how far out in the horizon? Like, I need a landmark, like a tree or something.
Yeah, so you guys are sort of in this, like, you're at the base of the Iron Shield Mountains, right? Ambrosia's off to the west, and you guys are sort of at a tree line. So I imagine like in the movies when you see the ground, it's kind of chilly, right? The first like light snows have happened occasionally. Off in the distance, sort of on the horizon line, there's that little, I guess it's normally with heat, but there's sort of that like oasis shimmer, and you start to see these shapes sort of appear, and occasionally you'll get a glimmer of the moon on something reflective that seems to be on them. It's not the size of your train, that's for sure. It's something smaller. And maybe your ears start to pick up a humming, like a humming in the distance as they're approaching. Bado, you notice that these lights that have opened up sort of simultaneously all seem to like start moving forward step by step in tandem with each other at the same slow staggered pace as this first thing. The door to Ark starts to close up, so they can't anybody is outside. I think everybody's inside now, so the door starts to close as you see these eye-like things starting to approach. Ark shuts and seals, and it starts to shimmy. And after about 20 seconds, it starts to lurch forward little by little. Waddle and Dusk on the roof, there's that little kick, but you're able to keep your footing as these 4 dots start to come more into view. And you realize there's some sort of like craft hovering above the ground, and you see they're piloted by something. And you see the dust kind of kicking up, the light snow from the ground kicking up as they're starting to approach, as your train is starting to pull away from it. ID10T is like frantically like starting to get everything going, while Bosch is trying to get everything steamed up as fast as possible. And you hear Kyrus in the back like, he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
So we're just gonna like they're just gonna try and like sidestep this thing, basically. I mean, they're gonna sidestep the thing approaching us.
That's what it seems like.
Is that what they're doing? Okay.
Do you have a opinion on it? Suggestion?
No, I was just wondering if that's what you were describing.
Yeah, so you're standing on the roof, you look to the right, and you see this, like, you start to see these unnaturally, like, piercing red lights in unison sort of moving through the woods as these 4, they're starting to move closer, and they look like Wark Tech speeders approaching you as you're starting to pick up speed. And so
cool.
you see the eyes in the woods sort of like turn, and like they're following you with their face as Ark's starting to pull off, but there's no way that they will catch you. Gus, that anxiety that you had from this unnaturalness like starts to ease a little bit because you got no idea what's going on behind you.
Ignorance.
So those vehicles, are they tailing us?
It doesn't look like they're doing anything other than trying to catch up to you.
Okay.
The vehicles are coming after us, not trying to intercept the lights.
I mean, you guys are generally in the same area. As the ship's starting to peel off to the left, you see them. Yeah, it looks like maybe they are trying to head towards you as opposed to whatever is in the woods.
Man.
But the eyes are no longer following us.
Visually, they're following you, but slow. Like, yeah, too slow.
Okay.
I wanted a let them fight moment.
Maybe as you start to pull off, you see that one shamble out of the woods a little bit and like just watch you take off.
Yeah. So the people in the work, they can only see the work creatures coming towards us. So I think I mean So okay, listen, Waddle. I can get myself ready to attack these guys if you want to go tell them that we got a little vehicle approaching from the south.
Well, why don't we just rush to the end of the train and just get a better view of what's going on? Like we can scope out, and if you've got any like weapons you can throw at them or something, just just to like clear the air.
We just take the south of the train and let them handle the.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
So Waddle and Dusk are gonna shimmy back towards the caboose of the moving train. You can hear inside Kyrus yelling, "He's coming! He's gonna get you!"
Somebody ought to shut that cockamamie up.
Shut him up, and I vigorously walk over towards him and I slap him in the mouth. Just give him a good little slap in the mouth. Shut up! I'm done. Shut up! Slap him one more time.
So you reach into the bars and slap him again. He spits out a little bud and he kind of blood. He spits out a little bud and he chuckles. Feisty like your brother.
Oh, okay, I see. That's fine. I give him another slap in the mouth, and then I slap him in the testicles.
Oh,
I only heard half of him say slap, so it sounded like you lapped him in the testicle.
You lapped him?
Like a dog.
You flapped his testicles?
Lapped. So you
lapped like a dog.
You give him a tap to the nuggets, and he does that. He tries to look tough, but he kind of falls over. He looks frustrated, and you can see out the back window that these 4 crafts are coming into view. Let's see who's on top. Watto and Dusk. And let's see.
I think
Yeah, so you see
that was it.
Yeah, you see these 4 ships starting to catch up, and you and then the fellas up top at the back are able to start making out what the pilots look like, and there's some sort of like hog-like creatures, like pig folk almost. You're not quite sure you've encountered them before. Waddle, you've seen these creatures before in Ambrosia. And from what you make me a knowledge check. Roll me just a good old knowledge check.
What do I check? What is that? 12? Yeah, wisdom?
Check yourself.
Intelligence? Am I gone?
You can do a history intelligence, or you can do like a survival wisdom check.
Let's do the survival. I got negatives on intelligence.
All right.
Survival is +8.
So
it is 20.
Cool. So Velvet's never seen these before. Dusk has never seen these before. You recognize these as William Wisp's enforcers, and you've heard them referred to as thwarthogs. And they're piloting like Wark Tech speeders, and they are starting to really catch up to your train. As you guys are starting to pull off through the mountain valleys of Ambrosia by the Iron Shield Mountains.
I would want to know. I assume that our characters would know at this point, having been here been on this thing for 6 months. But are there guns?
They've got like on you or on them.
On the train.
So
on the train.
the train's being pulled by Ark, the airship. It's kind of retrofitted. So you had your front two grappling hooks, and then there was a cannon. What was that noise? You guys had a cannon below on the front of the ship.
Right.
But they are. Thank you for following, Danger Atlas. Appreciate it. On the back end, not so much. Maybe Bado, as you kind of look out back, you recognize these things. These were the same types of mercenaries that attacked your ship, that caused it to crash, fall through the spine, and land in Krotara.
Right.
Doth thou
Yeah,
remember?
that's what
Yeah.
I doth remember. And I remember that the grappling guns were pretty effective.
Yeah.
So I suggest I would go up there, and I would suggest to someone else to get to the other one.
So they move into like a spread formation as they're starting to pull up the rear. There may be 100 yards, like a football field length behind your ship. Ark has reached probably its full speed, and so it's chugging along, rumbling. Gus, you feel the ground, the metal, unnatural ground beneath you kind of shaking. And then you see these creatures in the back. They pull out these long, like, crooked stabs. They're like spheres with a hook on them. And they start sort of leaning out of their craft, like they're watching you guys, ready for anything. Let's see.
I'm really getting excited about this. Is there a way I can like somehow maneuver myself to the end of the train so that I can like kind of like hang on with like my arms behind me, like kind of baiting them?
So here's what we're going to do. It's 9:12 now, and I told you guys we're going to go from 7:30 to 9:30 most games. So we'll end this like right at the start of an encounter for next week, right? So we'll pick up next week right as this is happening. Like, imagine the Mad Max music starts playing in your head as you see these like mercenaries sort of reaching out, getting ready to. So we'll position ourselves and prepare anything you have for that, and then we'll leave it on a cliffhanger for tonight's episode at the very least. We moved a little faster than I thought we were going to. So yeah, Waddle, if you want, you can start preparing yourself on the back of this ship.
Totally. I'm prepared to like leap from the back of the train. I want to take one of those. I want to take one of those vehicles for a ride.
All right. So Dusk, you see Waddle start to like climb down a back ladder and like start eyeballing the situation, looking like he's ready to rumble. Dusk, what would you do on the top of the back of the warp train?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of walk up to like kind of close to maybe one of the edges of the train, and I know the works are kind of gnarled with. Are they still kind of gnarled with branches and vines and stuff like they were?
No, you guys have cleaned it up as best as you can.
I was hoping there was something I could like hook my feet onto. Is there anything? Is there any like of the work that I could maybe like just kind of like secure my feet on? And also kind of prepare for. I'm just. I feel like I'm starting to. I feel like this threat coming towards me, and so I'm starting to feel like my adrenaline rise. My blood is pumping a little bit. I'm starting to feel like this magic boiling in my fingers and my arms a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to attack with some kind of powerful magic of some sort.
When you said planting your feet, you meant on the top of the train, or are you trying
Yeah.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's all sorts of grooves and notches up there that you're able to sort of lock in, and feel like you can do your magic without fear of falling down.
Great.
So then we'll move down into the cab where Velvet's looking out back. Velvet, you see these creatures approaching. What would you do in anticipation of these creatures trying to attack your work train?
Walk towards the engine room. I'm gonna head towards like where the main engine room is, and I assume they have like an intercom sort of speaker system.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna lean into the speaker. I've said, "All right, everybody, this is it. Get ready for the big one. You know, step up and shut up, and slap them." And then I hook up my little magical. I have a little magical wizard little tablet, like a little stone.
Yeah.
It's actually it's like a little Bluetooth MP3 player, and I hook it up to the intercom system and I play Rihanna's "Shut Up and Drive." It's at home for the next week's episode. If you want to play that on repeat while the battle happens, you're welcome.
But it's
And
filtered through
and then
dusk.
yeah,
Oh yeah, let me go ahead and use that song as bardic inspiration for the whole before the.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Pull down my cool kid shades.
I'm just gonna imagine me sing. You know what? We'll open next time with me singing a verse of that song.
Okay.
As I don't know that song, but I'll learn it for next week.
Perfect. So, yeah, like maybe your spell book, since you traveled through the spine from Krotara, like you feel like it's been talking to you, right? And so
It was because of the drugs.
so it works like your tablet.
Okay, yeah, we should upgrade to that.
Maybe it's got
There's
like
no
a
need to carry.
huh?
It's weird to carry around an iPod still when we all have our phones, right? Like no one else does that, right? It's weird.
It's got better magic coverage than the tablet.
Yeah, like that would make more sense.
Yeah.
Who would do that in real life? Nobody would.
I mean, you can absolutely say you had a tablet. I just figured.
Know that I have that as well.
Cool. So you place that in, and you get this like intercom system in the ship to warn your friends about the approaching danger, and you start blasting a tune that Dusk will grant with bardic inspiration. So we'll start the next game with that. Don't let us forget. Gus, you hear this booming voice, like the rumble starts to talk, and it sounds like your wizard friend. And then you start to hear music. What would you find yourself doing?
Where am I exactly? Like when I came back in, is it like, am I like in the middle of the train on the inside, or like?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. I kind of hear. I see all the people running about. I'm gonna try and make my way to the back. I guess. Is there any kind of like porthole I can look through, or an opening I can open, if I wanted to like throw something at them or something?
Yeah, there's like a side porthole that Velvet was looking out of. As Velvet moved over and hit the intercom, you're able to like climb up onto a box or a table and sort of peek out, and you see these hog-like creatures driving smaller rumbles, making way on you, and you're able to like undo the latch and open it. You hear the of wind blasting by. You've never gone this fast before.
Yeah, it's definitely very scary. But yeah, I kind of poke my head out, and I kind of like it's like a dog kind of like blowing me back a little bit. But you see me kind of like like I stick my hand out and I'm like preparing a spell. It's sort of like little like green little orbs sort of just glow in my hand and stuff.
Cool. Bado, you hear the buzz of everybody preparing for this. You hear a Velvet's voice on the loudspeaker. What would you find yourself doing?
Still readying at the harpoon guns and also readying a spell for when they get into 60 feet of range. But I'm at the front though, right? So
Yeah.
that's maybe not the best position either. If it looks like if they're going to stick by the back, then I would start making my way towards the back and trying to get to a porthole or something like that.
Okay, cool. All right. So Leon and Bosch start doing their thing with the piloting, making sure everything's okay. ID10T's flailing around, and he's like, oh boy, here we go again. And as the thwart hogs pull up on your rear and start to chase you down, we will end tonight's first adventure of Season 2 of Axe and Arcana fantasy adventure game. Sorry for all the technical hiccups at the beginning. I feel like we learned a lot about it. Yeah. Nice little slow intro, and we'll end on that cliffhanger. So we'll start with an action-packed Mad Max style adventure in 2 weeks. So we'll play every other week. Next week we'll either play a replay or maybe we'll do a one-shot of something else. But we'll be back here 7:30 p.m. next Wednesday, and then the following Wednesday for the next this adventure. Thank you for joining us on the Internet Broadcast System. Thank you guys so much.
Yay, thanks for running.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.
Danger afoot.
Thank you.
Who, howdy, who, boy, yeah, you.
That's his catchphrase. It's on all the merchandise.
Still working on the accent.
You can catch the whole first season, all 21 episodes, on the Twitch and the highlights, or you can go to internetbroadcastsystem.com and watch all of our goodies. I'll be here tomorrow night, Thursday, at 8 p.m. Central for Volcano Gaming Club. We play Rocket League and Overwatch. And then Friday nights, you can join me on JCVIM's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JCVIM, where we play the Mothership horror RPG called Eclipse. And I think that's all of my self-promotion. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we will see you soon. Bye.
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 Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors. Y'all know you can't stop us, 'cause we are warriors.
Stop and think about the things you do, the things you say, 'cause we gon' bring it to you each and every day. Don't play around, clown, we'll put you down. The warriors are here, we came to chase the haters away. We throw down for our brothers, down for our mothers and their sons and daughters to fight for freedom and peace. We'll have you tied out like a phone line, 'cause we always on the grind. You got beef, why don't we take it